Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another episode of Love&Marriage Huntsville. So, today we're going to be talking about the episode 4 of season 9. I found the episode kind of boring. How would you rate the episode?
From a 1 to 10, I'd say maybe mm, a 4. Yeah, it just went a little bit slow, like I had to keep watching parts over just to catch up with what they're talking about. It just kind of seemed like they were going over the same stuff.
Yeah, oh man, I was like, let me get over the episode. That was just my mindset. Let me get over the episode. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. Finally we are off them the trip. Stop talking about the trip. We finally saw at the beginning, we finally saw the divorce paper being signed, and what's his name? Tricia's husband crying.
Yeah.
I think I asked people over on social media, I was like, do you feel like the tears were genuine?
hmm Do I?
You felt
Yeah.
you felt the tears were genuine? Or
Yeah.
not for the
He
cameras?
he just looked so hurt, and like he couldn't really believe that this was happening. It's over. This is the final thing. You know, he was looking at her being all happy, and he was like, I don't even have a girl. And, it was just sad. You know,
Hmm.
it just kind of made me think about the man's perspective of things when, he kind of drops the ball with you, and then you kind of move on. And once you move on, you say, okay, we got to end this because I've moved on. And the realization that is coming to him, it just kind of gave me a different perspective of what some guys go through. It's like, damn,
Hmm.
he done took my girl and my family.
Yeah. Oh, so you felt it was genuine. I maybe
Yeah.
because I Probably because I do not rate their situation. So for me, I didn't really think it was genuine.
Okay, why?
Um,
Why?
I just felt that it wasn't giving real. I felt like maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my own preview. I just felt like maybe he was looking at the cameras, like he was looking at the cameras, then tearing up. That was how I felt.
Yeah, I think he just kind of believed that Trish wouldn't take it that far. You know what I'm saying? He probably felt that,
Mm,
hey, maybe once I got back to town, there's a possibility. I mean, because he was going way back, like you was in her DMs, you was liking her stuff. She said that you got the body of the husband that she wants, and all that kind of stuff. That it just kind of like jerked at my heart and made my throat lump up a little bit. I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's sad. Like, jeez. I mean, I could understand if he made like the first move towards another person, but it seems like I don't even know the reason why they broke up, really. You know what I'm saying? Where he felt like he's gonna go get him a house around the corner. I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know how toxic the relationship was before then. But at the end, it was just so sad, to see. And looking at Trish, she looked like, this is what I'm reading off her body language and her eyes.
Yeah.
She didn't want to hurt him, but she's so far into this now. She, I mean, because she ain't trying to make Ken mad. You know what I'm saying? That's a big man.
Yeah.
She ain't trying to make him mad, but she looked like, dang, I'm so far into this now. I have no way to get out of it besides keep going and doing what I'm doing. She looked like she had regrets.
Yeah.
Because she was like, well, I could tell he still loves me, and you shouldn't even be thinking about that if you're happy with your new man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we talked about it last week, like the way she kind of paused a little bit was
Yeah,
concerning.
yeah,
Was it? Yeah. It was a little concerning the way she paused when he was like, "Oh, I brought the papers." So, you know, um, well, we saw that. I guess we'll see how it will play out. We later saw it as in at the almost the ending of the show where we saw that he's also trying to delay according to them,
right.
um according to them, he's also still trying to stall and delay the divorce happening. The thing is that I don't um I always like hearing from two people's mouths before I judge. We only heard
Right.
from them themselves that he's trying to stall the divorce. We haven't heard from he himself what is the problem and why the divorce is being stalled. Because if I look at the picture of how he brought the divorce papers, he asked them to sign, I would not be expecting that he is the same person that is still trying to stall the divorce. Do you think that he is really the one trying to stall the divorce? Look, checking out the scene of the fact that uh, he brought divorce papers and the rest. Do you think he really would be trying to, or he is really the one trying to stall the divorce?
No, I think basically it was maybe something mutual that she wasn't sure this is the route that she really wanted to go. But now you're living with this man is helping you be a step parent, you know to your kids, and you're playing stepmom to his daughter, so you guys have already set up household, you know and Ken already told her, I would rather for you to tell me than for me to hear it out in the streets, you know and I think she knows that this man kind of has a temper and like don't cross him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that Trish kind of knows deep down inside how all of this is going to unravel. And I'm speaking of with her entanglement with Martell. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I think she's looking at that like, okay, I'm going to totally give up my marriage to kind of vibe with you. Speaking of Ken,
Mm-hmm.
while I know that this volcano is about to explode over here,
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. It's
Mm.
just crazy. I don't know why people just can't be honest from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Then you avoid all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll see that play out, whether be it on the reunion or maybe throughout the seasons. We don't know how many episodes is remaining, but I guess we'll see it play out. But
Hmm.
moving to another scene, we saw Miss Nell go to visit Melody, right?
Right.
And she was talking about the fact that she didn't like the way the trip went because of the name tag thing, and she felt like Melody didn't take her serious. I did appreciate that They didn't go. One thing I don't like is somebody has a problem with you and you
Mm-hmm.
don't tell the person, then you go around gossiping about it.
Right.
That part I don't like. I prefer you have a problem with me. Let me know you have a problem with me, right?
Right.
You get. So I love that Melody brought her to her house and being like, you know what? I have a problem with the fact that you went in an interview and you said this thing about me. It felt a certain kind of way to me because we are friends and I thought that like we had a common understanding. At the end of the day, don't talk about, even if people ask you, don't talk about it. And which is what I've always said whenever I did watch that particular interview where that she did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did watch that particular interview she did, right? And when I watched the interview, the first thing on my mind was, why the hell are you talking about Martell and Melody? She shouldn't be talking. I feel like I know those interviewers or those people who want to be asking questions about them. I feel like she should they should not respond to that. They should answer questions only pertaining to them themselves. But those interviewers always want to ask Melody and Martell, those kind of things. So I too was not I didn't understand. I didn't like the fact that they responded about Melody and Martell. And the way she went further and said the both of them are stubborn. It didn't sound well to me because if yes, two people can be stubborn, but if one person is stubborn, sometimes like I say, there is a reaction to an action.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't come to me and say somebody is stubborn without telling me what was the action that made that person react that certain way. So I just feel like she saying that in that interview then that Melody was stubborn and Martha was stubborn, it did not sit right with me. I'm not gonna lie, but I was glad that Melody told her directly, like, I didn't like that interview, it did not sound well to me.
Right. So the
But the only thing you
go
said,
ahead. Go ahead.
no, you can go ahead and say what you want to say.
No, I was just gonna say, so the interview happened after the trip, or was it
No, I,
prior
I
to
don't
the trip?
I don't know when it happened. They are shooting the show. All I know is that we watched the interview before this season started. That was like, yeah, the
Yeah.
interview happened before the season. So I don't know whether it's their own timing is different from ours. So I don't know whether it was when they were watching, they just came back from the trip or during the trip. But I can't really remember, but I think it was after the trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, it didn't seem like like after the girls trip, it seemed like everything should have been cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying? But then they come back from the trip, and then Mel and Nell have this gathering and a conversation. You know,
Yeah.
and what kind of trips me out about the conversation is, you know, Nell, she's basically mentoring them, counseling. Her and Chris are counseling them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they come to them as somebody who can be objective to what they're going through, somebody who's not going to play sides or favors, but just give them sound advice coming from a couple that has been married for, I don't know how many years they were married at the time when Martell and Melody was going through their problems in their marriage. Speaking of Nell and Chris, I don't know how long they had been married when they were giving this counseling and stuff, but it must have been a good long time, and they must have had a pretty tight little friendship for them to say, hey, this is what's going on with us, for them to confide in them. you
Yeah.
know, and let them know like exactly what's going on and exactly how they're feeling at the time. So, that to me, that's counseling and mentoring. When
Mm.
it's one on one, it's kind of like a mentoring thing, like a big sister, little sister thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when it's
Yeah.
the four of them, it's more like a counseling.
For me, the only part in that conversation was when she said she did not see Nell as a mentor. That kind of offed me because we know that before the Fletchers came on the show, we've seen them once in a while, pop up on the show where they were trying to talk to or trying to change the perspective of Melody and Martell when it came to their divorce and their situation.
Right.
So, I don't know what she views as mentorship. But for me, you know, I feel like, yeah, maybe, okay, let's not call it mentorship because being a mentor is like a big thing. Like maybe she was just a confidant. She was there for you. She listened to you. Like she said, at least she acknowledged that Nell was somebody that was there, that listened to her when she had to complain about certain things. But
Right.
Nell gave you some advice. Yes, it's not every advice that our mentor gives to us that we take in,
Right.
right? That part is understandable. Sometimes some mentors would have, because I know sometimes some people that I call mentors in my life will give me advice and I feel like, yeah, this advice doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
yes, it doesn't mean that everything your mentor says is right.
True.
It doesn't mean that everything your mentor says is the good thing, right?
True. Right.
I just I just feel like her overstating that the Fletchers were never really um friends with them did not make sense. Were never like mentors to them, rather, did not make sense. Yes, if she says mentor is a big word, understandable. If she has said like, okay, mentorship is a big thing, I
Mhm.
would understand. But saying that not really, really like that part, I didn't. I think at this point I don't even know what to say because I felt like that did not make sense. And even if something has happened like in between the lines, like or throughout the time, and you felt like okay, maybe you feel a certain way that maybe Nell is more, because sometimes we felt like that Nell is more on onto Martell. Like Nell is more sympathetic to Martell than Melody. Sometimes we felt like that, right? Even if you've
Mhm.
along the line felt that way, that Nell is more sympathetic to Martell. As in, I feel like going that far to say that she was not a mentor for me did not sit right with me at all. It
Yeah.
didn't.
It just depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Like Destiny was saying, "Hey, I thought we were friends," and Sunny was saying, "No, this was a job." You
Okay.
know, Melody saying, "Hey, you didn't mentor me. We were friends," and Nell is saying, "No, I mentored you, and yes, we were friends." It's just all a category that you put it all in. You know what I'm saying? People have their different perspectives of the categories they're going to put you in.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I do. I myself, I have categories that I put my friends. Sure.
Right. Right. So I guess it just depends on whose perspective.
You're looking at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did not think about it that way. So that's why I say two heads is better than one, actually. So I didn't, I didn't look at it that way. That in life, people's perspective is different. My perspective about things will be different from yours.
True.
And yeah, Yeah. Oh, now I feel bad for kind of judging because I know that I myself was in a similar situations like the situation like that where I had to choose between two friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have felt a certain way if somebody judged me because I was looking at it in a different perspective from every other person.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes perspective differs
True.
on how you look at things. But the thing is, the only thing I like about it is that she told Nell to her face,
Right.
right? She told Nell to her face because I don't like the fact that most of these cast members do this thing that they cannot tell you something to your face. What they now do is to gossip about you at your back. So if I feel a certain way about you, if I feel a certain thing about you, I will tell you straight to your front, right?
Right.
So um I love that at least she told Nell to her front, like, okay, yeah, you thought that you were my mentor, but maybe you were thinking you were mentoring me, but I wasn't seeing it as mentoring. Maybe I saw it as you being like a listening ear for me when I
Right.
was down, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being as somebody I could confide in at the situation when the situation was going on. That is what I love that Melody at least told her to Nell, said it in Nell's front, not in the back or not gossiping about it to another, cast member. So she told
Right.
Nell to her front at least so that Nell would have known this is where we stand,
Mm-hmm.
or this is where we stood, or this is where we are standing. So nobody gets anything, you know, mixed up. Now, the one thing that I did have as a problem was that, when Melody said that she has a therapist that, that counsels her for everything. She has her mom, she has God, which are the things that normally that's what you should lean on when, you're going through some difficulties. Now, she said that, and I could see in Nell's face that there was a change, like she was literally pissed off, right?
Right.
But my question is, why didn't she say anything?
I think
What?
because
Okay.
yeah, I think because everything was coming
Okay.
at Nails so quick. You know what I'm saying? All these emotions and all these sentences and paragraphs and and not seeing eye to eye, that she had to have time to kind of like go over it for a while, like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
she said this, but this is what was going on then. Sometimes when you're being hit with so much, so many emotions at one time, sometimes, well, I know this is how I am. Sometimes I may not say, I can't grasp everything at one time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I gotta sit back, and just kind of
Yeah.
let it play through my brain. And then I'm like, okay, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is wrong. This is wrong. That didn't happen. That never happened. You know, uh, that isn't how you showed me how you felt about that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I got to replay things in my mind. So once I see you again, I know how to come towards you, because now we're going to have a real conversation. You know, I mean,
Mm.
'cause sometimes I'm thinking about other things when you're saying stuff, you know, and I'm just recording it in my brain to play
Yeah.
back later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe the
Okay. So
conversation just took Nell off guard. You know what I'm saying?
okay. So you feel like at that moment her brain was still processing.
Yeah, I think so. Because when she first came in, Mel said, "Well, where you been? You ain't been in my house in a long time." Like right there, whatever Nell was feeling when she came there, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see my girl. We're gonna spend some quality girl time." It just went out the door. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes you go,
Uh-huh.
like, well, wait a minute. I thought we was going, kiki it up and stuff. And here we are with a problem soon as I walk through the door. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna want to hear this person completely out, you know, and instead of making a, a a mad dash with my mouth, sometimes I sit back and I soak stuff in and I replay it. So the next time we meet, I got a whole conversation for you.
Mm, yeah. So do you feel like Nell would still tell Mel about how she felt? The way she was ranting to her husband about the situation.
I think so, especially when it got to the part where her mom was dying and she left her dying mom at home just to go over and mentor friendship, sisterhood, because her girl's feeling down. And, you know, that right there would is something I probably would have never did for anybody. I'm not going to leave my mom
Yeah.
for my friend. We could FaceTime. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We could FaceTime when my mom is asleep and comfortable. We could FaceTime quietly, or you could even come over here. But I'm not gonna leave my mom. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm,
since Nell did leave her mom, she's feeling some kind of way. Like those are
mm.
valuable moments I can never get back.
Get back, yeah.
You know, but I wanted to be there for you and make sure you're good so I could come back to my mom.
Mm.
So yeah, I think she's gonna end up telling her later on, probably the next time she see her.
Okay. You think that there will be a conversation
Yeah,
about it?
yes.
I guess I would have to wait and see. And if
Hmm.
she has that conversation with her, I will know. I feel like Nell is a very matured person.
Hmm.
And so if she has that conversation with her, I'll be like, okay, fine, yes, that is great.
Hmm.
That is great. Because one thing I hate is you have a problem with me, but you don't let me know you have a problem with me. Then you start giving me attitude. I hate that situation like crazy. If you have a problem with me, let me know. So if I need to apologize, let me apologize. Then it's a different thing if I say, oh, there's no need to apologize. Then you know, okay, fine, I have a problem. You're right.
Hmm.
So I'm waiting to see when she will have that conversation with Melody, or if she will ever have that conversation with Melody. And if she never has that conversation with Melody, I'll be very disappointed
Yeah, I
in
would be
her.
disappointed as well because she needs to voice what she's feeling off of what Melody said to her. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what friends do, especially if you're going to continue your friendship.
Yeah,
You
I'll be
know,
very disappointed.
yeah, because if not,
Uh,
then yeah, say it to your husband and don't ever say it again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'll be very, very disappointed. But let's just see how that will play out. Let me just give her the benefit of the doubt for now that at this moment, that's her husband. Of course, that's the first person she's going to vent to.
Right.
Um, Somebody on Facebook said she looked unbothered. Are you talking about Nell looking unbothered? So, um, at least we know that that's her spouse. So that's really, as in, if there's somebody she needs to tell her feelings, that would be the person she would tell. So I like that she told her husband. At least he was able to calm her a little bit. So let's see whether that conversation will finally happen between Melody and Nell. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I do too. I hope they can kind of soothe this out. Because I like them both.
Yeah, I
You
do like
know.
them both. So
Yeah. Melody, she gives that. Hey, things may happen, but I can bounce back. You know what I'm saying? And
Hi,
Nell.
Dr. Visual. Sorry, I was just seeing the comments now. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Nell gives that mature relationship that when you get a certain age, you're not gonna take nobody's stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you took it all your life. So when you get a certain
yeah,
age, you're like, hey, no, this is not gonna happen, especially not the way you think it's gonna happen. You know. So I hope that they
yeah.
can get it together and restore their friendship.
Somebody on the comment before we continue. Someone on the comment section said, um, someone in the comment section, Daughter of Israel said, a mentor should be unbiased. And I think I said that earlier on that um probably the reason why Melody is not trying to acknowledge the mentorship or the mentoring or anything is because I said it earlier on that I felt like she was kind of one way leaning towards being more sympathetic to Martell, especially when the arrest stuff was brought up earlier on in the season when she said,
Right.
"Oh, no black man should be arrested." That didn't sit well with me.
Right.
That didn't sit well with me at all because you did not know what happened. You didn't know what he did. There's no excuse of no black any black man should blah 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 those kind of things. So um so it's understandable. What Daughter of Israel said is very understanding when she said a mentor should be unbiased. Then somebody
That's
else
true.
said, I think sometimes Melody use a certain tone in her convos that the cast can be a little intimidating. Do you feel like sometimes Melody use a tone in her convos that the cast feels like it might be intimidating?
Yes, she does. You know,
Mm.
she kind of uses that look. Um, what we're not gonna do is this, that, and the other. You know, almost like she's talking to one of her kids. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm,
And I think that's just how she is and how she
yeah,
feels like she has to be with them. You know,
yeah,
because she doesn't. If you notice, what's her name? Shalita,
yeah,
her
Shanida.
friend. Okay, she doesn't talk to her like that. If you
Mm,
notice, but the cast members like Destiny, uh, Kimmi at one time, uh, uh, what's her name? Marceau's wife. I can't think of her name. Letitia.
Letitia.
Yeah, Letitia too. You know, I've heard her kind of use that tone with them. You know,
Mm,
it's like I'm the elder in this room, and what you're not gonna do is do what you think you're about to do. You know,
mm.
so yeah, she has used a certain tone with them. I've noticed.
Well, but if you watched earlier seasons, like season one, season two, I don't think she has been using that tone with them. I think maybe the tone came from the situation that happened, and a lot of people picking sides, people trying to be judgmental to whatever choices she made in the situation that happened.
Hmm.
So that's just it. She on the comment section someone said, I also think Mel is fed up with the cast constantly taking Mattel's side, and there is a wall now. Exactly. Um, do you also feel
Yeah.
that the wall is coming from being there being a wall?
Well, yeah. I mean, because nobody went through any of the stuff that she went through with Martell but her. You know, she's the one
Yeah.
who heard him screaming and raging and stomping through the house and just doing all this old weird crazy stuff because you're throwing a tantrum because you're busted. And no, I'm not going to keep doing this with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he raged out. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like nothing nice, probably like nothing we've ever seen, you know? And so when a woman
Yeah.
is in that position where she's feeling afraid and she's looking at somebody like, I used to love you, and now it looks like you want to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
Psychologically, anybody who goes in and tries to talk good about this person, I'm gonna be looking at you like you weren't there. You didn't feel how hard and fast my heart was beating. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking like, okay, do I run? Do I grab something to try and beat him back? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Do I try and call the police real quick? Do I text my mama real quick? I mean, all kind of things go through your head. So until you are in that position, you should kind of stay out of it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
You should kind of stay out of it because you don't know what that person went through with that person, you know, and for you to seem like, oh, well, I never seen him like that. I never seen that side of him. Like miss me with all that.
Yeah, that is the part I hate when you say, "Oh, but he's not like that with me."
Yeah,
Like, don't you understand that people are different with people? Like,
behind
it's
closed
normal. I
doors.
I I myself, I know that when I'm with a certain friend, I'm a different. I react. I react and act a different way. When I'm with this person, I react and act a different way. Do you know why? Because sometimes I look at, okay, what can you handle? What is my level of, you know, attitude, character, a lot of things that you as a friend can handle, or not a friend can you handle? Those kind of things. And
Right.
so I can really show myself off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when they say that statement of, oh, I do not, he did not act that way towards me. I haven't seen that about this person. I'm like, girl, please, he's not going to act the same way he acts with that person to you.
Right.
And I like, and someone in the conversation said that the cast refusing to take Mattel conviction seriously is also wrong, and it's true. See, sometimes when Melody is talking harshly to most of the cast members, even if I feel like the harsh manner is wrong, but I understand because I do it too. I have a bad relationship with my dad, and now I'm trying to be like, I don't want the sadness to ruin my life. I'm trying to move forward in life. So I'm not in the stage where we are hating on each other. I literally am in a stage where I can stay, sit down, have a conversation, or even be around where he is, which did not used to happen before, right? But now I can. But doesn't mean that everything is thrown out the door. There's still a wall that is in me that sometimes when he wants to have certain conversations with me, I just look at it like, and I just shut off. Not because I don't want to have that conversation, not because if somebody else wants to have that conversation with me, I would not. It's simply because that wall has already been there. There are some things you
Right.
have said that has made an imprint in my heart that cannot go.
Right.
And because of that, everything stays the way they are. So what even boosted my the way as I was like, okay, that Mel doing this is reasonable, was when Martel had a conversation with Destiny in today's episode. You know what I said when I was when I was watching that conversation? I said, this is why Melody doesn't want to fuck with most of you.
Right.
Because how is it that Martel knows that Destiny went on a trip with how many of those women, and the only person he could talk about was Melody? It's like, oh, from the tone you will know that he was fishing for, like, he wanted to hear, yeah, she tore me up, she dragged me, there are scratches on my body, those kind of thing. That's what he was waiting to hear. That they had a fist fight, things were going rough. That was what Martha was wanting to hear when he asked Destiny about that conversation. Asked her about the fact that, uh, where were they, how the trip was, and it was like the first way he put it is like, oh, with the way that um, you are not friends with her, how how did you do on the trip? I'm like, okay, fine. They are not friends. How were you expecting the trip to go? And the way Melody and the way Destiny was like, oh, I told her about the fact that she was respectfully cheating. If I hear that respectfully cheating one more time, I in like, I don't understand. She now saying, repeating it, and Mattel was nodding his head off like, oh, and he was like, yeah. And she was like, at the end of the day, did you notice that there was a change in him when she said, but at the end of the day, even after she ranted and everything, she was nice to me during the trip? Did you notice that he didn't like that?
Yeah, yeah. He wanted more commotion to go on between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and,
He
then
wanted to, he
I
wants to create this narrative that Melody is the problem.
yeah, he is just he can't move on past Melody. He can't. He can't. He really can't. She is like she lives rent free in his brain.
When that situation was going on, I said, this is the reason why Melody doesn't want to f with any of you. Because how would I want to f with all of you? Is that we went on a girls trip, and you go to this same person that I said I have an issue with you,
Right.
and you sit down. The same thing I've told you that you ask. I'm like, is Destiny, like, I don't understand. Should I call her Dululu or what? You keep on saying that you don't understand why Melody doesn't want to keep a friendship with you or want to have a friendship with you, but you repeat the same action over and over and over again.
Yeah, she's like a spy for Martell. Like whatever
Why are
she
you sitting
knows,
down
she's
laughing
gonna
and
tell.
mocking at the situation of Melody, with Mattel? That that he just wants anything, any news that would bring Melody in a bad light or show Melody as a bad person. He just wanting that. He just wants that. Like, once he hears that, he's going. Did you notice that she did not even agree with everything he said in that conversation? Especially when she tried to divert the conversation to Trish and him hooking up together, and trying to ask him, did they hook up or whatever, and he also tried to deflect it back to Melody, and
Yeah.
was like, oh, that was the time she was, she was messing with other dudes. Did you notice that her facial expression was giving, dude, be serious, let's not talk about this?
Yeah, but that's always his comeback, for why he does what he does. She was messing with somebody else. Like, were you guys together or weren't you? You know what I'm saying? And people have different boundaries. Let's say, hey, we break up, but we know we still together. We trying to work through some stuff, but we're just taking a break for a minute because we're trying to give each other a little bit of space and work through this. If somebody else is stepping out, the other person, of course, is going to get upset because, hey, I didn't know it was this type of break. You know what I'm saying? You should have let me know because, hey, maybe I want to partake too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a mess. But, you know, from what I understand, is he got caught cheating and there was a break in the marriage where she moved out and he stayed, I guess, at the house and she got her own spot, you know, and she figured, okay, so I'm pregnant, she's pregnant, and you about to have a baby with somebody else. I'm about to have your baby, you know. So I guess once she had the baby, and I guess they were still in their separate spots, Melody said, "Well, hey, I'm gonna go on a date." And he gets Huntsville got to be small because he finds out, now she done slept with half of the town, and now he's upset. Why?
See,
You done had a whole
that's
baby.
besides me.
You done had
Exactly.
a whole
Because
baby.
my own argument is, yes, Melody has had, let's say Melody did do what he's always alleging, but you are also guilty. Imagine a guilty person accusing another person of being guilty. As you are guilty, you have no right to guilt trip another person.
You go out and have a whole baby on me. Shh, we ain't got to wait on the judge to give us a divorce. Mentally, I am going to divorce you and I am pushing on. You know what I'm saying? You get the papers later. you know?
Man, I like this comment said, Martel's mentality is he can cheat, but Melody cannot.
Exactly.
And it's true. That's what he's showing. And I think he also has this mentality as, I'm not going to be the only one that would fall down. I'm going to bring everybody down with me. The whole house is going to go down. Because how did you go from the fact of talking about you maybe allegedly cheating on Melody with also Trish when you were still married, Melody, to the fact that, oh, everybody is calling me names. Masao is also a cheat. Masao, let's say that what Martel is alleging is true, right? That Masao is a cheat, but at least Masao is intelligent about it.
You talking about Marcel?
No, I mean Martel, any small thing when people come for him, he will be like, "Oh, but you, Masao, you are also a cheat. Maurice, you're also a cheat." He always want to bring everybody down, like, you're this, you're this, you're this. That kind of person. He doesn't always want to go down. He doesn't. Let's say he doesn't always want to take responsibility for his own mistakes. He always wants to point out other people's mistakes so that everybody will be associated in the same group. And I'm like, you were the one that was caught. You are the one that should apologize. If there's ever a day um Masao is being caught or Maurice is being caught, then we'll talk about it. But you are trying to bring them down, being like, "Oh, Masao is also a cheat. Masao is also a cheat." But you were the one that was caught impregnating somebody else, having a whole ass baby with somebody else.
Right. I mean, when I look at all of them, from how when the show first started, dang, I was so excited. I was like, wow, Black people actually doing something. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be all this arguing and petty shit, that normally goes on with the reality TV shows. I'm like, okay, they're actually doing stuff. They're building. Like, wow, they're in the real estate, they're in the development, you know, um, they're they're doing the damn thing, it made me kind of proud, because how everybody was coming on and showed strong Black couples, and they're in this business world, and everybody got on suits, and you know what I'm saying. So it made me feel good. But then as we start going, I'm like, what the hell? Well, wait a minute. You got everything that men dream of: the perfect life, the perfect wife, the home, the kids. You rolling. Like, why would you mess that up? For somebody who just don't have their shit together. And you're the prize in that situation, but you leaving like a whole castle full of shit for this one person. You know what I'm saying? So now that you've been caught up in your shit, you know, you just won't just be a man about it and say, okay, I fucked up, you know? But no, you got to point the finger and agitate people and create problems where there aren't problems. Like, whew, this show has really done a total spin around.
I'm telling you, the show has literally gone off the rails. Like it has deviated from Love and Marriage to we are fighting for who is the best cheater, who is the worst cheater,
Right.
or like so many things. Who can beef the most? Who can insult the most? Like there's nothing Love and Marriage on this cast. I don't look at this cast members and see love. Like
Yeah.
literally, I don't look at Maurice and Maurice and Kimmi, Letitia and Marcel, because they are the only married couple. Then we have Ken and Trish. Stormy, okay, Stormy and her husband is no longer on the show. Let's talk about people that are on the show. Maurice and Kimmi, Letitia and Marcel, Ken and Trish. I don't look at them and see this is the love I want to watch. I don't look at them and say, oh, I see love. I'm learning how to love somebody. I'm learning what love is supposed to be. If there's anything, I'm learning what friendship is not supposed to be, relationship is not supposed to be. That is what I'm learning.
Right.
I'm
All
not
the
learning
things not
anything.
to do. Yeah. All the things not to do. You know what
All
I'm
the things
saying?
not to do. Like when to keep friendship, like there's so much backstabbing, there's so much gossiping, like that's the order of the day. If this one is not backstabbing this one today, they are friends. You are just when you see two people being friends today, are just the next thing you're expecting is when is the next time they will end up being enemies. We started like, from how many seasons when Stormy came, she was friends with Letitia, she was friends with Melody, but before she left the show, she's no longer friends with any of them. She
Right.
now becomes friends with Destiny. There is no loyalty in this group. I can't see this group of people and be like, oh, I want to, associate myself with them. A lot of things with them, and I'm like, what the heck is this? One thing
Yeah.
I also kept that also made me think in this episode was the fact that when they were speaking on Maurice's DUI, and the fact that we found out that a lot of people were saying free Maurice, free Maurice. DUI
Mm-hmm.
is not a joking matter. People get
No.
killed.
Mm-hmm.
People die. You either kill somebody or you get killed. The fact that he didn't kill anybody and the fact that he came out alive, it's something that you should be grateful about. Not going out being like, oh, free Maurice, free Maurice. And the fact that, yes, I knew when this thing played out really, and when he got arrested, after he was bailed out, he went to a party that the Scots, like Masao and Latisha were doing in black, and he was photographed holding an alcohol.
Mm.
It doesn't show responsibility at all.
Maybe
It doesn't.
maybe Kimmy was driving that night. I don't know. I'm just making light of it. But yeah, it's some serious shit when you drink and drive, you know, or when you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Yeah, that's some real. Her
Yeah.
daughter got killed in the middle of the daytime by a drunk driver. They had
Mm.
just moved out of their old neighborhood and moved into a new neighborhood, and she wanted to go spend a night with her friends in the old neighborhood. The parents said, yeah, okay, we'll pick you up tomorrow. They walked down, excuse me, to like convenience store or something, and here comes this drunk fool around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the middle of the day, and there goes a life. That was, if I could say that was hard, that was hard. Like, it's no joking matter. Yes. Hell, I could barely walk a straight line after I take a couple of sips off of a drink. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You was okay a minute ago. You know, so I'm a light drinker. I can't really drink like that. You know,
Mm.
and if I have a whole cup, oh, you best to believe I can't drive. You know, so and I know men are different because their bodies are bigger and they probably can absorb more liquor, but still, you know, don't take nobody out just because you're having fun,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever your problem is. Don't take nobody else
Yeah.
out that's innocent, you know.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, that
and
wasn't a good look for
that
Maurice.
that that wasn't a good look. And that whole conversation he had with Kimmy, I felt bad for Kimmy. And that's why I say the show doesn't give me love and marriage. It gives me shit not to do when you want to get married. Red flags to look out for when you want to get married. Because what did he mean by the fact saying that um Kimmy cannot help him and he doesn't think she can help him?
Maybe he's like, maybe he hides bottles around the house. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if a wife is meant to be her husband's helpmate, I don't see why you can't confide in her when you feel like you need to have a drink, or she can't hold you responsible. Like, hey, you going out with the boys, why don't you drink a soda? You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't look strange drinking a soda. Drink a soda. You know, drink a cup of water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Like
he just doesn't want nobody to hold his feet to the fire.
him. Exactly. That was what that was giving me. Oh, yes, I know you are my wife, but please don't try to hold me accountable. Like, if nobody holds you accountable, who the public will not, like, the public holding you accountable. We're all waiting for whether they find you guilty or not.
Yeah.
But if your wife cannot hold you accountable, that means you're not serious. And you tell your wife directly. I feel that statement pained Kimmy. And these people, and that's the problem I have with the men on the show. They don't care about the feelings of their spouse when they start bringing out words
Right.
from their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, F your feelings. I'm gonna say what I want to say. What is, oh, I don't think you can ever help me? That is a very big statement. A wife is supposed to be somebody that will be of a comfort to you. Like, after the whole world is so, so much for you, at least when you come home, there's somebody to comfort you. And if you can say openly that, yes, this is my wife that after the whole trials and tribulations from the outside world, and I'm coming home to be at peace, can or not also, that means you're trying to say, yes, you are also a problem to me. You are not a peace. You are not also giving me peace. For me, that's what he meant to me. That he's also trying to say that she is not also a source of peace to him. Then where is his peace? What gives him comfort? What gives him peace of mind to forget all the worries of everything that happens to him all through the day? If everybody has that person that is a source of comfort to you, a peace, someone that gives you peace of mind. But if you don't have that and your wife cannot be that to you, then who would that be? Your mistress? Your side chick?
Or maybe the courts, huh?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. you know, but I think it's a shame. You know, I think it's a shame. If you have a problem with drinking, say something, because like every time, if it was me, every time drinking, I'd be worried, like, oh my God, did the police pull him over? Did the sheriffs pull him over?
yeah,
Did he get into a fight with somebody because he's buzzing, and they said something, or did he get into a car accident, or is he just there just drinking and drinking and spending, like, yeah, how much comfort is that for a wife? You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Or
yeah,
monster, or monster, tells him, oh, there's nothing that can help him. Yeah, well, how about sitting your ass in the house for about 3 or 4 months? No alcohol, no friends, and just do the family life thing.
mm. But anyways, I see. I
But he's
I
not
don't
my
even
husband.
know. At at least that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, let's just. I want to see how next week episode will go because we're officially going to see the way that Martell is going to embarrass himself, and I don't know, embarrass most of the cast members. And I wonder the stance that Destiny will take because we know that she's friends with Letitia. Imagine Martell saying those awful things about Destiny, about Letitia and Maurice, then Destiny claiming to be friends with Letitia. How would that affect their relationship? Although I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be truthful with you. I feel like Stormy is closer to Destiny than Letitia. If you follow through their social media and everything, I feel like um Stormy is more closer to um Destiny than Letitia. Letitia is not giving me the vibes of, oh, I'm very close to Destiny. But I guess we'll see how that will play
You
out.
know,
Are you expecting how that will play out for next week episode?
yeah, because it seems like Martell is going to throw out everybody's dirt because Marceau said, hey, I don't respect you, man. That right there is embarrassing to him for everybody to hear his homeboy say. I don't respect you as a man. Oh, you don't respect me as a man? Well, you cheated and you don't act like. Oh, I can't wait to hear what he has to say. You know, I just wanted to just deal with the aftermath later.
Yeah. I was surprised
The
that
show's been going.
Latisha literally I was surprised that Latisha voiced out that Mattel doesn't respect their marriage. I thought that she always said it was Melody that doesn't respect their marriage. So I'm surprised that Letitia is now saying that Martell has never respected her marriage with Masao. So I want to see how the dynamics of the relationship will go from here. And we also see Masao literally saying out loud that he doesn't respect Martell in any shape or form in the trailer. Because
Right.
Martell was like, "You don't respect me," and he was like, "Yes, yes, dude, I don't respect you." So it seems like we're gonna be seeing some shifts in relationships and how this is gonna play out. But let's just see how everything is gonna be in next week's episode. I can't wait for next week's episode. Like I can't wait for next week's episode because I know. Um oh someone someone said 2 seasons ago Tisha would not have agreed with Masao on that. Exactly, which is true. which is true.
Yeah.
Tisha wouldn't have agreed with Marcel if he, as he said, he doesn't respect Marcel. He wouldn't have agreed. And even, I don't think 2 seasons ago, Tisha would have said with her own mouth by herself that Marcel doesn't respect their relationship, because she always want to pour everything on Melody. That Melody is the one that does this, Melody is the one that doesn't respect their relationship. So the fact that, is very funny that the one person you say is the one trying to destroy your marriage is not the one actually destroying it. Is the one person you stood by, you know, the one person you stood by, you supported, is not the one person outing your dirty laundry by themselves. It's very funny.
Yeah, well, that his deepest secrets. They know who they all cheated with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like they were trying to juggle the balance of, hey, I'm gonna stay cool with you because I don't need you telling this or that.
Telling them my
They're trying to
business.
balance these friendships. Yeah, because they go on these boys trips together.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, since Martell has nothing left, he has nothing to lose.
Yeah. And if, the most dangerous person to deal with is someone that has nothing to lose.
Yeah, he's like playing Russian roulette. The
Mm-hmm.
gun is loaded. you know.
Can go off anytime.
Yes.
Can go off anytime. But let's just see how. See, I can't wait for next week episode. Like, I can't wait for next week. I just wish that tomorrow was Saturday. Um, for so that we'll be closer to seeing what will happen in the episode. But anyways, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Pisciano Rose. I don't know. I'm not very good in pronunciation. So thank you for joining me. Thanks. I said
But
what I said for joining. Thanks, daughter of Israel, for joining the live. And those that joined from Facebook, thanks for joining. We'll see you guys same time next week to have another chat on the episode 5, which is gonna be explosive on Love&Marriage Huntsville. Till then, guys. See you guys next week. Have a nice day.